Hey everybody, thank you for joining me on today's video. Welcome back, and today our topic is finishing what you started. It is so easy for us to have a great idea. It's so easy for us to feel empowered, inspired, motivated. Maybe, let's see, certain things can make us feel like it's definitely time for a change. Certain things can make us feel like we've been sitting on opportunities for too long. Certain things can make us feel like if I don't do it now, I never will. So, there are many catalysts for making us want to make a change or think about doing something that we've longed to do or needed to do in our lives. And that's the topic today because it's so easy for us to think about doing something that needs to be done, but do we have the staying power to make it all the way to the finish line, right? So that's what we're talking about today. And basically what we're gonna, I'm sure, agree upon is support is everything. What happens to most of us, with the best intentions, of course, is that we start out with what we want in our lives. If it's not something that we fell into or just happened to realize we had in our lives, like a lot of wealth or position or etc., and we do the best that we can to carve out the type of future, the type of life that we want, right? And so when it comes to starting to take the step away from that to have a better future, or to reimagine ourselves, or to to reinvent ourselves, that's where it starts to get a little bit dicey. And I mean that in the most supportive terms. It's a little tricky because hopefully with more responsibility in our lives, like children or expenses, things like that, you can still take steps in that direction. But definitely the more you have on your plate, the harder it is to see through plans or ideas, desires that you might want, no matter how big the desire is. It really requires, a catalyst, like something as big as what prompted you in the first place, right? I found that in my career, in my life, what really got me over humps or situations into a different reality had to do with a lot of impulse, like big time impulses, okay? When I went from single to married, when I went from married to divorced, when I went from pregnant to childbirth, right? Those things had a lot of momentum associated with it, connected to it, that pushed it, right? It wasn't just a thought and then it happened. It was continuous, sustained momentum, right? That made those things happen. And so what we need to look at is the same momentum, continuous momentum and drive that it took to create those life-changing situations, basically is required to to continue to create what it is that we're looking for, right? Because when you do have life events happen in your life, it didn't just, snap of a finger happen. No, it really took on a life of its own, a trajectory of its own, and it happened over time with a lot of momentum, right? So that's why when things disappoint us, for example, we're trying to get that degree or that certification, or we're getting married, or we're having a baby, and things stall out. It's quite disappointing and almost depressing it could be. It can really change the way that you feel, because there was so much writing on it. And so although we have situations that we're in that we feel have our backs, or we're comfortable, or even if you're feeling uncomfortable, the change that we're looking for is going to take the same impetus and momentum and drive that it takes to create anything else, right? So right now for me, I'm in a situation where I'm doing things, on my own accord, in my own way, during this time that we're in. But there's a lot of drive, and there's not just consistency, but there's momentum, and there is also a lot of just focus on it. And so that is really what it takes. If you think about the energy it takes to, go on a trip, you're not just planning it out. You're packing, you're getting the house, you're closing up the house, you're going to the airport, you're doing all the things. It's all of that activity and momentum that it takes to create whatever else you want in your life, not just a thought, and not just a plan, and not just, a fly-by-night effort here and there. It has to be deliberate, it has to be sustaining, and it has to be over time and continuously, sought after, like, so that you can not only see the change in yourself, but others can see it happening as well. And so that's the message I wanted to bring to you today, because so many of us are starting things that we want, and we really are not seeing it through for so many reasons. And I think one of the areas that we miss is the fact that what it took to get whatever it is that you have right now, it was pretty serious, right? All right. If it took a lot of momentum, a lot of effort over time, and a lot of energy. And so if you really want the same thing in your life right now, it's going to take the same amount of energy. It's not going to take just one attempt, two attempts. Like right now, I walk every day, right? I walk every day. Sometimes I don't want to do it, but the results are always there on the other side of it. And so I have to give myself that 30, 40 minutes of the momentum that I promised myself. And also with results in whatever business that you have, same thing, contacting, conversations, sales calls, whatever is required, creating the whatever it is, product or service. If it's your job, if you're interviewing for something new, you have to put momentum and energy behind it, sustaining the time it takes to get that result. And I think we kind of need to remember that if you're not seeing what it is that you want, are you writing it down, and are you seeing that same consistent momentum over time until the desired outcome is reached? Okay, so if you think that it takes more than that and you need that support, let me know. I'd be glad to consult with you about it, because we're all in that similar, scenario where, you need that support, you need that encouragement. It doesn't just happen by itself because you wish for it. And that, we're not kids, but at the same time, what gets you over the hump, right? What gets you over the hump is going to be whatever got you over the hump every single time. What broke the camel's back? What was the last straw? What was that line in the sand? And you had to step over that line in the sand. You know what I'm talking about. It takes that much deliberate action in order to see the result. So I want to encourage you today to think about it in that way, that whatever it is that you want, it's going to have to be that kick butt, take no prisoners, burn the boats, you're not getting off this island unless you swim or unless you blow, smoke signals and somebody rescues you in order to get that result that you're looking for. So I hope that you enjoyed the message today, and I will see you in the next video.